Welcome to Retro Scale Modelling. This is part 3 of Italeri Messerschmitt Bf110 G4. Scale is 172. So I'm going to be carrying on the build in this part. I don't know how far I'll get on with this video. I'll try and get it all into one, including the final review, possibly in another video after this. Anyway, let's jump into this and see how well I get on. The first thing I'm doing is just sanding down the seam lines. There's not that many seam lines actually to sand down. I did manage to break one of the rear wings while doing this. Now, bear in mind, this was meant to be a solid part, so the wing root is quite thin at the connection point. I'm painting the exhaust, and for this I'm using Humbrol's 113 Rust for this. I've also painted the engine cowls, but they will need modified, which I didn't realise at the time. Anyway, while that's drying, I'm going on to paint the main colour on the aircraft, and that's Humbrol 248 LMS 78 blue. Now this will take 1 to 2 coats. Now I'm painting the underside the same colour. I was debating whether I should have it all in the sky blue colour or have it in the black like it shows in the instructions. The thing was, I wasn't sure because I couldn't find any example with the aircraft painted in the nighttime colour in black just on the underside. It's generally all over. So, but in the end I changed it to black. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's time now to build the engine cowls. And the first thing I have to do is put in the connecting bracket that's going to hold the prop in. Now you won't have to worry so much about this if you don't want your propellers moving. If you're having them movement, you're going to have to put this little part in. Next is the main plate to go on. Now technically you're meant to fit this with the actual prop, but I had a look at it, and because I wanted the props to move, it was actually easier to fit it this way than to add the props in at the end, so that way I can assure that I've got full movement. Then it was time for the two halves to come together. These didn't fit too well. One fitted okay without any issues. The other one just didn't fit well at all. The next part is for the exhaust. There's a tiny little 4-edge part that goes on at the end of the exhaust. You do actually need to put this on because it would just look like a flat piece of plastic otherwise. Then once that's done, I decided then to put on the engine cowls. So as you can see, I haven't quite painted the wings yet on the upper side, only on the underside. Now, these cowls didn't line up at all properly. Now, I don't know whether it was because the wing was originally warped or whether this part just didn't fit all that well. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, I used a little bit of filler on the joints, then I sanded it all down. Then I was able to put the first coat down on the top part of the aircraft. Now, this part was actually my mistake. These little caps of plastic here, I don't know what they're for, some sort of vent or access panel, I would imagine, for the cowls. I forgot to put them on before I painted. My fault entirely on this one. But I just added, I didn't even bother taking off the paint. Maybe I should have done, but they seem to hold all right when I put them on. Next to go on are the exhausts. Now there's 4 exhausts to go on, and each one goes on a particular way. They'll need to be dry fitted before you put them on because each one is a slightly different shape. So now the engine cowls have been repainted, it's time to start painting in the camouflage pattern. For that I'm using Humbrol 242 Dark Slate Grey for this. Now I've not really followed a pattern on here, I've just made my own up as I go along. I'm vaguely following the instructions, but as you can see, it's all just various shapes painted onto the entire aircraft. So then I decided to paint the black in, so that's Humbrol 33 matte black that I'm using. Now this black comes up onto the side of the fuselage in parts, so I'm just freehanding the area. I didn't get this quite right. I should have done the black more towards the wing than I did. the decals don't stand out so well because of that, but you know, I don't plan on keeping this model anyway, so I'm not particularly bothered that I made that slight mistake. So I'm refitting the guns now. If you remember in the other videos, if you watched them, I said I took these off because I thought that it would interfere with the painting, and they would have done, so I'm just reattaching them now. I'm using micro crystal clear as my cement for the canopy. As you can see there, I put a bead all the way around the rim before fitting the main canopy. The front part of the canopy is made up in 4 sections, 2 sides, 1 front and a top. They didn't fit very well at all. It was okay though, because the clear canopy can act as a filler as well. Because it draws clear, it sort of lessens the gap. Now, I don't know whether it was me I couldn't get them to fit, or whether it was a design. I suspect it was the design. I'm not sure. They almost fitted, but not quite. It's now time to place the decals, and I didn't have a particularly good time with these either. The tiger mouth, or shark mouth, sorry, that you see here, this didn't fit. In the end, I took it off because I'd already softened it up, and I could not cut it into shape. So as I said, in the end, I just took it off and decided to leave it how it was. Now, I should also point out as well, there's aerials that go all on the front of this aircraft. Now, I did try fitting them, and they're meant to sit opposite each other on the nose of the aircraft in a straight line. The way they were moulded is they kept on bending into each other like in a V shape, and they just did not look right. So I decided not to put them off. And while the decals and everything are drying, I'm just going to be making up the props, and I'll wait for a couple of hours before pushing them on. And the props actually went on easy enough, which at least something went on easy on this kit. And to finish off, I'm using Tamiya's Withering Master Series B and the suit component to do some wither streaking along the kit. Now, this is where I'm going to end the kit. There's not much more to be done, just this withering. That way I can cut in the final reveal as well. Now, as you can tell, I did not enjoy this kit at all. I'm not going to even keep this kit, this build. As soon as I'm finished with this video and chucking it in the bin. I hated the kit, and I'm really annoyed at that because the Bf110 is one of my favourite World War II aircraft. The footage, I did not see the point of whatsoever with it. I think it was just put in there to entice people to buy the kit. It adds nothing to the kit. I know I say sometimes, what's the point of footage? I know sometimes it does add to a kit, and people do enjoy using it. This one, however, is pointless. There is just no need for it whatsoever. The warping issues, the fitting issues, everything with this kit leads me not to recommend this kit to anyone. Don't touch it, don't buy it, get rid of it if you've got it. It's just not worth the time and effort, I think. I'm sorry if that sounds a bit defeatist, but at this point, I've really had enough of this kit. But as I said at the start of this series of videos, I wasn't sure whether I was going to show it anyway or not, but I decided to show it because I do believe in showing my mistakes as well as anything I do good. I think that all helps with the experience. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds? Please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to date with all my future builds. Hit the like button, don't be afraid to leave a comment, and of course you can share the video. And I hope you enjoyed the final reveal, even though I don't think the finished product's all that good. And I'll see you on the next build. Thank you all very much for watching. Bye for now.